Hi, my name is Jacob Cox, and today I'm here to talk about the shift and the things that are happening on our Earth, the energetic changes, or changes of political system, economic system, educational system, and also the changes within ourselves. The first place I'd like to start is our Earth. Scientists found out that the Earth had a Schumann cavity resonance, and this resonance started out about 7 hertz, and it's been rising ever since then. That rising is what's changing us, what's making our lives more complex, our relationships more complex, our jobs, things like that. One thing people don't normally associate when we do talk about the Earth, we talk about the Mother Earth that provides for all of us, that it has this feminine aspect to it. And I would like to suggest that the Earth is our divine feminine aspect of the universe. In that way, that it does provide for us, that it does care for us, does nurture for us. And what most people don't seem to associate with as much, but there's no doubt that they recognize this in the past, is that the sun is the father energy, that divine masculine energy in the universe. There's no doubt Egyptians and other cultures around the world actually knew this and didn't worship the sun, but honored the sun as people honor the Earth today. So it does have a male aspect to it. It is a living being, as you are a living being. The Earth is a living being. The other planets are living beings. And so we need to recognize this. And they share a relationship together. The sun puts out, rays of energy, rays of light that hit the Earth like an egg and give birth to life on this planet. Not just us, but the animals and the trees and the living things and all those other things. So we are in a birthing process. Throughout history, we see things change abruptly. These changes happen when this sound frequency raises and gets higher, and this happens on a regular basis. We are not at the peak of our evolution by any means necessary. Evolution didn't stop with us growing opposable thumbs, but we have another 90% of the brain to illuminate. We have more of our hearts to use, and also more of our DNA as well. And I'm going to explain how we develop those things even more, and we're allowed to take in this energetic frequency that's being played out throughout the solar system. So the Earth and the Sun are in this cosmic karmic dance almost. And like I told you before, the Earth has rays that come off, and these solar flares are coming off onto our planet right now, which is increasing our awareness, our awakening, our understandings. People who you have problems with no longer lie about it. They no longer don't tell you about it. They tell you to your face that they don't like you. That's part of it. That's part of this awakening. That's part of seeing through the veil, is that you see through people's true intentions what they really are, what they want to get out of you, or if they're here to love and here to help. But so these solar flares are coming to the Earth, and what we know is about our magnetosphere is the shields are down. So more of this solar flare is actually getting to us and affecting us more. But what people don't realize about this is the Earth's magnetic resonance vibrate at the same frequencies as our heart rhythms or brainwaves. Even better said would be that our hearts mimic that of the Earth. So as the vibrational frequency of the Earth rises, so then do ours. And that's why everyone's, even though they may put it into terms as I'm running around getting my kids, or I'm running around with my job, everything is more intense. There's not enough time for anything because everything seems to be speeding up and making that happen. That's because this vibrational field of the Earth is speeding up, and we are trying to rise our vibrations in order to fit that frequency. And Nikola Tesla said, our entire biology system, the brain and the Earth itself, work on the same frequencies. Nikola Tesla. If you don't know anything about Nikola Tesla, he's probably the most underrated scientist of all time. Incredible, incredible gentleman. And so, like I said, this sun, these solar flares are having this effect on us. So, like I said before, the people that you're in a relationship with, they're more intense. I have found my relationships to be, happen quicker. You get in deeper with people faster than you did before. People more easy to open up, and things that no longer serve you, they're right there at the surface. Things that you need to deal with. Things, if you have anger with somebody, you probably run into that person often because the universe is saying, hey, guess what? If you don't learn this lesson, you're going to have to continue to put up with it until you learn it and to move on to the next one. So that's what's happening here. So the solar flares, the vibrational frequency is actually awakening all of us, and we're awakening it as one. And it's allowing us, like I said, to see through the veil. to see through other parts of ourselves, other parts of other people, other parts of our biological systems, our school systems, our political systems, our government systems. We're seeing through and we're finding out these things aren't as good as are intended to be, and that some people have kind of taken the bull by the horns and turned, our political system, our educational systems in a way that aren't really serving us in the proper way that they need to be at this time. And we're kind of running the old method into the ground, and that's not long any good for us. And so as we awaken, we'll be able to shift our bodies, shift our minds, our spirit and soul into a better way of thinking, a better way of doing, and that's going to help us change our systems as well. So we live in a world like this, a world in peril, a world dominated by industry, and what's good for the cause now is the economic world. No one cares about what's good for humanity, what's good for the earth, but what's good for my pocket, what's good for my resources, and it's take, and competition, and we're destroying our planet, and we need to shift into a world that's more like this, more harmonious, people living all in the branches, the animals, the nature is here is free flowing, and we're not just take, but we're living in a harmonious balance with it. And so this is a great picture, I think, of what we're trying to talk about. And the painting, the guy who painted this says it like this. So we came out of oneness, and down here is the caduceus, the duality, the male and the female aspect. Out of the one came the two, and then the Trinity, and then the four elements: earth, fire, wind, and water. And out of the water comes the animals, the dinosaurs and things like that. And then we get to a period of, Adam and Eve, the Buddha on the tree, Jesus, and then after we crucify Christ, there seemed to be this darkness that we've all encountered on our planet. Which, doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but, it's not often what we're given, it's what we do with it. So now that we've had this time of darkness, we have to take that darkness and say, we don't want this anymore. These systems, these ways of thinking, our philosophies, they're no longer, a sustainable way of living, and we need to change them. They need to evolve. And so I think we're right here at this cusp. We're right here in this gray area right here, where it's starting to get to what seems to be a more multi-dimensional world, where people, come in contact with their spirit guides. You start to be able to pick up on your intuition more. You start to realize there's a lot more to this life than my career, my job, and how much money I have in my bank account. And there's something else that's going on that we all need to figure out here. So, no need to panic. Things seem to be crumbling and going crazy, but it's all right. Keep calm. There's just a paradigm shift going on. It's just something changing, energetic change in our consciousness and our way of living. And this happens often on all kinds of planets, not just ours. So the Earth is sending out a vibrational frequency that's literally changing your DNA. It's changing who you are, and it's definitely upgrading us to having. There's 20 out of 64 amino acids in general, on average, for most people turned on. Living in love and other things I'm going to explain here in a little bit are going to help turn these on. But I would say, besides just turning our 64 codons on, we're maybe even changing our DNA to a 3-strand or 4-strand or multi-stranded DNA, which is going to help us to be more in contact and have more of that ascension ability to be able to come in contact with our spirit guides, with our angels, our intuition, these psychic abilities that people thought, were hocus pocus in the past, but there's no doubt that they are real, and you can experience them. So we are evolving. Like I said before, evolution isn't already set. We are not at the peak of evolution and it's all said and done. No, we are in the process. We're still evolving. Things are still happening. Thoth said, man is in the process of changing the forms of light that are not of this world. And I believe that many people, the Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Muhammad, all these people seem the time to tap into this and understand the fact, and they were allowed to do magical things. And people were, kind of dumbfounded about what they saw, and they tried to put it in books, and they tried to understand it the best they could, but with their limited knowledge of who these people were, obviously in the past they worshipped them as gods, and their message was not to be worship me, but do what I'm doing, be like I am, love, forgive, have kindness, compassion to others, and it will change you. And we see that in science today. So it's not that we evolve over millions or thousands of years, it's that there's a metamorphic process happening that we literally change in a small amount of time. You know, you go back and you look at evolution, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, and all back through that Cro-Magnon man, the changes are abrupt. They don't happen over long periods of time. They happen, and there's, you know, people are saying, where's this missing link at? There isn't a missing link because things change like butterflies, and there is no trace of the change. So it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. We are that civilization where things are crumbling down to the ground, and we have to rise back up and start something new. That's this transformation process that people were putting in books and people are talking about in the past so often. So, if you want to upgrade your DNA more, love more, breathe deep, practice gratitude. Those three things right there, they may not seem like much, but science is showing us that love is an energetical frequency. There are only two emotions, primary emotions. Everything falls into these two categories, love or fear. Everything that you do can only be done in some degree of one or two of those. When you drive your car down the freeway and you're doing the speed limit, you're doing the speed limit for one or two reasons. Number one, out of fear of getting a ticket, or number two, out of love of being safe with all the other drivers, being harmonious, not being, you know, jumping around from lane to lane, but to be safe and to be harmonious with everyone else and do it with love because you want to not only take care of yourself and the other passengers in your car, but of course everyone else on the road too, because we all have the right to be here. We all have the right to exist, and we all need to make sure of that. So you can only do everything out of one or two ways, love or fear, in some degree of those. And like I said, that love is actually turning your DNA on, that it's a frequency that runs through your DNA, as fear does as well, but it turns on the lost parts of our DNA that are no longer on. And science has called that stuff junk DNA, which I've looked in the universe over and over again and I don't find any junk. So it's hard to believe that we have this vast amount of DNA, the majority by far, and it's junk. It's not junk. That's the good stuff. That's the intuition. That's your ability to have visions, dreams, encounters with your spirit guides, your angels, and all those things. Breathe deep. A lot of times, people are all running around, taking the kids to school, careers, jobs, things that they're into, and everybody's just so, you know, so crazy. There's so much going on. Like I said, this energetic frequency is rising, so we are rising our vibrations to fit it, and you know, it makes us all crazy. And so you have to stop. You have to stop, you have to think, you have to experience the stillness, and just relax. Relaxing is the positive reward that the Creator has intuned all of us to be able to understand that when you live in love, when you live in gratitude, when you stop and relax and you're calm, the stillness is what connects you. You know, the running around, the individuality, that is disconnecting you, thinking that you're separate from everything else, but you are not. You are a part of everything. So breathe deep. Those yogic breaths where you breathe in deep and you hold it in. You know, 30 minutes of that a day will completely change your life, just breathing differently. And like I said, that's going to turn your DNA on. That's going to help you think about things too, instead of just reacting to something when something happens to you. You stop and think about it and then figure out what's the best solution. And that's allowing, you know, more parts of your brain to turn on, your frontal lobes, which allows you to think out things better. And that, you know, sometimes when something happens and you react to something, craziness, and then, you know, 30 minutes later, a day later, a week later, you come back and you think, oh my gosh, did I say that to that person? What was I thinking, you know? That is your frontal lobes thinking this thing out, saying, oh my gosh. Slow down, you know? So slow down, breathe deep, and you can turn your more DNA on. And practice gratitude, to be thankful for everything, to be thankful for what you have. I mean, so many people are wanting this car, wanting these clothes, or wanting this over here, and just be grateful for what you have. And you'll find out when you are grateful for what you have, you'll have more to be grateful for. As opposed to, you want this and this and this and this, you're going to find, I just need more stuff and more stuff to make myself happy inside. But really, you don't need anything except the fact that you exist. And that is so much in that little part there that you exist. There's so much to be grateful for in that, in the moment, that we forget that sometimes. So I think those are three great things to start off with. Be happy, no matter what. No matter what anybody says to you, no matter what anybody's coming out with you with, realize that that's just part of yourself. That's you. and that's you need to love that part of yourself. And if you can love that part of yourself, then you're going to change the world, because it's going to change who you are, and you're no longer getting angry and mad at certain people for saying things to you. No one controls your brain or your thoughts. You control your own thoughts. So no one makes you angry. It's just that person who comes along every once in a while and mirrors that to you, what's already there, and they pull it out of you. So they didn't make you angry. It was already inside of you. They just pulled it out, showed it to you. So thank them for the fact that they did, and now you can say, okay, thank you. I wasn't loving myself enough. I can change myself and be better. So did you know that positive emotions create physiological benefits in your body, as do negative ones? Make our hair fall out, make our get wrinkles in our skin, diseases in our bodies. When you actually live in love, when you live in gratitude and you breathe deep, these things are going to keep you from getting sick. They're going to keep you from getting diseases, and they're going to make you feel better. You know, these are why positive emotions do that. Did you know also too that your heart emits electromagnetic fields that change according to your emotions? That when you love, you're literally sending out the signal, and it looks like this, what we call the toroidal field, which is an apple, an orange, the way the galaxy works, the way the energetic, around frequency around a person, or around the magnetosphere around the Earth. It all works the same. The crazy thing about the electromagnetic fields that come from your heart, and you also have electric fields and magnetic fields. And the electric fields that come from your heart are 100 times stronger than the ones that come from the brain, and 5,000 times stronger magnetically that come from the heart than the brain. So when you have all these people, Krishna, Buddha, saying, love everyone as I have loved you, you know, they're not saying, be like me, do what I'm, follow me religiously around. They're saying, do like I'm doing, love everyone, because it's going to change you. It's going to make your field bigger. And so when those obstacles come in your life, the anger, the negative emotions that people are trying to send to you, your field is up, and you're better to be able to think, you're better to be able to react, and you're be able to assess that situation. And it's changing who we are by turning on our heart and living in love and having compassion. It's also changing our DNA, like I told you before. The actual frequency of love is a more harmonic frequency, as opposed to fear that has higher crescents and lower troughs and is, you know, more erratic. This love frequency is harmonious, and it touches our DNA and turns it on. And it also has an effect on the molecules. Like I said, disease, truly, there is only one disease. And that's when our cells act abnormally. So cancer, AIDS, that's all just trying to put a title on something. The main thing is that your normal state of being is not normal anymore. Your body's no longer at ease, it's at dis-ease. So this is why you're getting sick. Your body, you're not eating the foods you need to eat. You're not drinking the water you need to drink. You're not breathing the way you need to breathe. All these things are out of tune with who we really are, and that's why these sicknesses are happening. So if we can learn to love more, we can change the physiology of our body. And if we can do that, we're going to have, like I said, a DNA change. A change in who we are and the makeup of our bodies. This is what I think that we came here for. We came to be these incredible beings, but somewhere along the way, someone told us that we weren't. Someone told us that the world wasn't what it was. And it's not their fault. You know, this is how way it's been for a long time, for a great, at least 2,000 years. The world has been, and like I said, I showed you that slide earlier, this down darkness, and that we need to come up from it. We need to rise like the phoenix and transform ourselves, and that will transform our world into a better place. So it's changing us into this fear-based society, this fear-based economy. There's not enough for you. I need to have as much as I can. Competition to where we're opening up more aspects of ourselves and seeing that cooperation is way better than any competition could be. And that's how our cells operate as well. It's our philosophy. So when you say, you know, I'm individual, I'm this and I'm that, I need all these things, and I'm competing with other people, you're actually sending that message to your cells. And so your cells then are competing with each other and fighting. And when your cells are fighting with each other, that's when you get sickness, that's when you get diseases. So we are literally metamorphing into, I believe, another species. Something as different from Homo sapiens to Homo sapien to Neanderthal. that we literally will have a physical change, a mental change, a spiritual change, an economical change, a political change. All of these things are happening on our planet. And it may look scary from the outside in, but when you realize that all these things have to change, it's a good thing. They're going to be for the better. But sometimes we're afraid to jump into the unknown because it's a little scary. We've never been there. You never experienced that. But if a plant or a seed never got outside of its shell, there'd be no trees. So we all have to break outside of our shell and find out that there's something else greater than what's inside. So all these things are helping us get activated to the state of being that which we should be operating at. And meditation is one of the keys. Besides breathing, besides loving, gratitude, just sitting in your room in the dark. You don't have to hum, you don't have to cross your legs. You can lie down on your couch and just relax and just let go. It's not trying to gain enlightenment through meditation. You're trying to let go of all the things that you're holding on to. That's your beliefs, that's your ways of thinking, your ideas, your ego, the bills, your arguments, the fights you've had with people. Let go of all of that and just experience the oneness in the moment. And the more you can do that, the more you're going to turn your DNA on and have epiphanies, revelations, aha moments, is sometimes coined. Those are all things that we all can have, and many of us are having at this time. Because of that. Another thing is exercise. Exercise, it doesn't have to be, like I said, anything in particular, but getting outside, getting your body active again. One thing I found that probably works best for me is yoga. It not only is a great exercise, but every time it's over, I just feel like this complete love in my heart, this openness, just a great feeling of knowing, and it's an amazing thing, yoga is. I recommend it to anybody who's struggling with anything, weight or anxiety. All these, yoga is good. But exercise in general, just getting outside and walking around every day is going to help change your life, help remove toxins from the body, and flush out, things that had been in there for a while. Water. The other good thing to do is drink plenty of water, more than anything. I would say don't ever drink Cokes and things like that. That's more like poison for your body than anything. But your body mostly consists of water, and the more water you drink, the more hydrated you are, the more you flush out those toxins, the better you're going to feel, the less chance you have for disease. And it's super, super important to drink probably a quart to 2 of water a day. I wouldn't even try to drink anything else. That's all I drink is water. Like I said, your body's mostly made out of it. And the more water content you have in you, the deeper you are. The more dehydrated you are, the shallow you are. So the more shallow thoughts you think, the more shallow ideas you have, the more shallow concepts you do on a daily basis. And the more water you have in you, the deeper you can be, the deeper ideas you can, sometimes somebody pulls something deep into your world and you're just like, that was way over my head. Having a deeper water in your body is going to allow you to take on deeper concepts. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Also, fruits and vegetables. There's no doubt about today you hear a lot about Monsanto and GMOs and chemicals in our food. Of course, yes, these are having a great impact on the diseases that we're having and experiencing in our bodies. And we need to get rid of those things, There's no need to fight it. There's no need to say, I hate you guys are doing terrible things. We've allowed for this to happen because we're the ones going to buy the fast food. We're the ones going and spending money on that kind of stuff. So it's not that we really need to get angry at them, but find a better way. And the best thing to do is to go eat organic fruits and vegetables. I mean, look at the colors you see in those things. There's no doubt when you eat beautiful, colorful, living plants, they're alive. When you eat an animal, there's no doubt that it's dead. And the understanding that I've come to know is, okay, so you're eating fruits and vegetables and they're alive and they're living and they get their energy from the sun, the primary source. So there's more energy in that fruit or vegetable than there is in a chicken sandwich anyway. Plus, if you breed a chicken or you breed pig or whatever it is to be eaten, oftentimes, majority, those things live in some kind of farm or something that's not free range. It's not a happy lifestyle. They're bred to be killed to be eaten. They're not treated properly, and kind of like you've heard that saying, happy cows make happy milk. Absolutely. the happier an animal is, the more free an animal is. When you eat that animal, when you take it into your body, that energy that it is now you. So when you eat something of a lower fried chicken and whatever, as opposed to apples, your frequency is going to be lower. Like I said, that's up to you. If it's something you want to do, you have every right to do that. If you want to live at a higher vibration, if you want to come in contact with spirit guides, if you want to have the knowingness, if you want to turn your DNA on, eat the organic fruits and vegetables, especially organic, and juicing them as well. Juicing is always a great thing, just to get all those nutrients in. But of course, eating them and raw as much as possible is going to be the best for you. And like I said, certified organic, things that don't have chemicals on them, those are going to be your best way to eat fruits and vegetables. So this is going to give you perfect health. It's going to allow you to have more parts of your DNA turned on, more parts of your heart turned on, and it's going to keep you from getting sick. If I were to cut my arm right now, I would not have to do anything. My blood would clot, a scab would form, and in a couple of days, my arm would heal itself. And that's a pretty crazy concept when you think about it. Your body heals itself. Your body will keep itself from getting sick if you only put the right things in it. And like I said, if you breathe slowly, if you eat the fruits and vegetables that you're supposed to, have plenty of water, and you exercise, and you get out these toxins that are all in our body that have all been built up over for years and years and years for most of us. Those things are going to keep you from getting sick. We're not supposed to be sick, But of course, the pharmaceutical companies want us to be sick, because the more sick we are, they're going to give us more drugs. And the pharmaceutical companies fund medical research. So these people learn very little about health when they go to medical school, and they learn a whole lot about drugs and what drugs do for certain people. And when you get sick, they're not into curing you, they're into keeping it tolerable for you so that you continue to buy their drugs until eventually, that person dies. But that's, they want customers. They don't want to cure people. They want to make sure that you remain sick. And the pills that we're getting today is to make sure that you stay sick. But if you do these things, you're going to have perfect health. So you're going to have perfect health, you're going to turn on our hearts and turn on our brains. You've heard the expression, we use 5 or 10% of our brains. That's absolutely true. The top part of our brain, the wrinkly stuff, the neocortex, that's the other 90% of our brain that we're looking to illuminate, that's allowing us to think about ideas, spirituality, and have these revelations, epiphanies, and aha moments that are allowing us to come up with new ideas to change our governments, to change our political systems. Because it is not the governments that are going to change the world. It's us. It's our ideas. They are few and we are the many. And we don't need them to continue to do business as usual. We need to show them how we want to conduct business from here on out. And it's not taking from the earth. It's not spending trillions of dollars on war when there's people in our neighborhoods who don't have food to eat and children who don't have a place to live. Why are we spending trillions of dollars on killing people when we have millions of people on our planet alone who need medicine, who need help, who need food, who need water? Why not spend money on those things? And I guarantee you, if we spent money on those things and helping people, it would pay for it 1,000,000 times over than any war and killing people would ever do. So it's us. We have to change our world. This is probably one of the greatest pictures that I've ever seen in my life. One of the greatest quotes from one of the greatest men, obviously, that ever lived on the planet, Albert Einstein. It said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life believing it's stupid." Everybody's smart. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody has something here to teach, all of us. But if you go to school and you sit there and somebody tells you, this is what you need to learn, and you need to regurgitate that information back to me, just like I said, on command. And if you do that, you get an A. If you don't, I'm not going to give you the grade. It's these people who do what they're told, not question the validity of the content that's given, that go on to run our world. And the people who question it, people say, what is going on here? Those are the ones, the troublemakers. They go to the principal's office. I know that. Trust me, I know. And we're outcasts, But the truth is, just a simple concept like the sun and the earth revolve around the planets revolve around the sun, that's not even right. The sun is not a fixed object. It moves. Therefore, all the other planets are moving all the time. These are things that we're being taught that, you think, well, that's not a big deal, Jacob. Well, it is a big deal because it sets you up at a small age of how things work, and you think things are fixed. Nothing's fixed and stays in one place. Everything's always moving, and a change in how we do things, and accepting the fact that it's because a kid isn't good at world history or good at science doesn't mean that he can't be an inspiration to the world by being a pro skater, you know, or whatever you want to be. There's plenty of things to be out there. Not everybody has to sit behind a desk and work on a computer all day long to be successful. No, if you are doing what you love, you are successful. So, you know, these things have to change. Business as usual. Obviously, an elephant, a penguin, a seal can't climb a tree, but that's what we're expecting all these different types of kids to do. The same thing, and some of them are going to be good at that thing, and some of them are not. But that doesn't mean that everyone's not smart. Everybody has something that they can help. So, all these new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. That is absolutely 100% true. Like I said, all these things are collapsing, crashing, and everybody's freaking out. I hope the economy never goes back up. You know what I mean? Because if the economy's up here, that means we're taking from the earth in an unsustainable way, and all we're doing is maximizing profit no matter what. And that, to me, is a scary idea. Because in the end, we will all find out that we can't eat money. You know, when we cut down the last tree, and we kill the last animal, and we poison the last river, and all we have left is our money and our cars and everything else, we're all going to kill each other because, you know, learn from the Easter Island. These things have to change. And Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And I think that's absolutely 100% correct. Don't focus your energy on what's bad about this system or what we need to change about this, but we recognize that there is a problem here, and what's a better way to do it? Oh, that's a better way? Let's focus our energy on that. And it will literally, this will dissolve, the old will dissolve away by putting our energy into the new. And so the greatest souls are awakened out of suffering. The most impressive personalities endure many scars. And I think that goes along, not with just us, but with the fact that other systems and things, when we realize how bad that they were, now we can say, oh my gosh, we just don't want things to go back to being like that anymore. Let's change them, let's make them better, and we evolve from that process, and we learn something from it. And, you know, we are going to change. Some people are, you know, your friends, and they're going to be like, man, you changed, man. Come on, you don't hang out with me like you used to. Like, oh, I don't no longer get, you know, fun out of that. I no longer see a purpose in going out and doing these things anymore. It doesn't serve me a higher purpose anymore. And, you know, they may make fun of you, they may say something to you. But in the end, we've all changed to become this metamorphic, this transformation process of being the butterfly. Yeah, and they may be a little jealous, but no worries. So welcome to the age of Aquarius, a golden age, a time of change, and I hope we all can live together in a harmonious way, much more better than we have in the past. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.